Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having an amazing day so far. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I was able to save money working minimum wage and only working part-time. If you like videos about saving money, make sure to go ahead and give this one a big thumbs up because it really helps the channel, and take a minute to go down below and hit the red subscribe button if you're new so that you can join our YouTube family. So to give you guys a little bit of information as to why I was working minimum wage and only working part-time, this all took place while I was going to school. I was in university to become a social worker. I never wanted to rely on student loans, so I always worked to put myself through school, and I was always very careful to save my money. So as I started this journey of going to university and living and working on minimum wage, the first thing that I knew I had to do was keep my housing costs as low as possible. What I did was I rented a room in a shared house with 2 other roommates because I knew living alone was just not possible with the amount of rent that I would have to pay by myself. My rent every month was $475 plus utilities, and I would get paid twice a month. So every time I would get paid, I would put $237 into my savings account. So then at the end of the month, I would have my full rent payment. I found it really helpful to divide my rent into 2 portions throughout the month so that it didn't seem like such a big amount when my rent was finally due. While I was searching for this apartment to rent, I made sure to choose a good location that was in walking distance from my school, but also close to other things like malls and grocery stores. The reason why it was so important for me to live center city was because I knew I wasn't going to be able to afford to have a car, so I was going to be doing a lot of walking and taking public transportation. It's amazing how much money you can save just by not owning a vehicle, and I know that this isn't a possibility for everyone, but if you are someone who lives center city with a good public transportation system, or you can walk most places, I would really recommend giving this a try just to save some extra money. Another way that I saved money while making minimum wage was scouting out all of the discounts that I could, which mostly included student discounts because I was in university at the time. I would go to the grocery store once a week on Tuesday because that was student discount day, and I would walk to the grocery store but take a cab home because I couldn't walk with all of my groceries. And because I had to pay for a cab back home from the grocery store, this made it crucial that I only went once a week, so I had to get all of my stuff during that one grocery trip. Only being able to go to the grocery store once a week saved me a lot of money because I was able to avoid impulse purchases and just running to the store whenever something popped into my head or whenever I had a craving. That one trip also made me be a lot more purposeful with my shopping. I always went in with a very detailed grocery list, all of my meals planned out for the week, because I knew that if I forgot something, I wouldn't be able to go back. And while we're on the topic of groceries, it's also while I was making minimum wage and working part-time that I decided to cut out most meat from my diet. While I was growing up and living with my parents, we were really big meat eaters. We would eat meat every single night of the week. There was actually one time that my parents bought a whole cow so that they could save money on meat, and we had 2 deep freezers full of hamburger meat. So that's what I grew up on. I never thought any different, and I actually thought it was weird when somebody would present a meal to me and it didn't have any meat. But when I started grocery shopping for myself and spending my own money, I began to realize how expensive meat really was. I remember going to the grocery store with $50 for my food budget for the week, and I would pick up a pack of hamburger meat and a pack of chicken, and it was $20-something, most of my grocery budget. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to do this, and I had to cut out most meat. Now to this day, I still eat mostly vegetarian. I'll eat bacon and hamburger meat, and I'll eat meat if somebody cooks it for me, but I don't typically buy it and make it myself. Something else that I did to save money while I was making minimum wage was literally make all of my food at home, and when I would go to school, I would always pack my lunch and take my tea with me in a to-go cup in the morning. Not having a car definitely helped me when it came to staying on track and eating at home because I wasn't able to just jump in my car and go through the drive-thru and get takeout. If I wanted something, I would have to walk and go get it, and most of the time I didn't want to do that, so I would just eat at home and save money that way. While I wasn't making very much money during this time, it was crucial that I kept my bills as low as possible, and this included my utility bill. This is so funny to think of now, but I am not kidding you guys when I say that I would be in my room, and after I would finish doing my homework and reading, I would shut off all the lights, unplug everything I could, and just have my laptop playing Netflix, and I would sit there and watch TV just knowing that I was saving money on my electricity because I didn't have any lights on. And I was so proud of myself for doing that, but it really did help cut down on my utility bill. I would do this most nights of the week and save as much as I could. Another thing that I would do to save money on electricity was always wash my clothes in cold water, and then when they were done, I would hang them to dry rather than using the dryer because dryers use so much extra energy. As you can tell, I also lived very simply at the time, so so I didn't have a TV that was always on, sucking energy. I would always make sure everything was unplugged when I wasn't using it, and I would refuse to turn on the heat unless it was absolutely necessary. So this meant going around with a lot of fuzzy socks, sweaters, and blankets wrapped around me at all times. While I was making minimum wage working part-time, I worked at the local mall at a retail store, and it was fine. I enjoyed it, but I knew I wanted to make some more money doing something else that maybe I could do from home. I had been following a couple Instagram accounts of these bakeries that would make these beautiful cakes and cupcakes for custom orders. I was really interested in it, and I thought maybe I could do something like that. So that's where Christina's Cake Shop was born, and I started my own business where I was making cakes and cupcakes. It was a way that I was able to make money on the side from home while still working my minimum wage part-time job. If you're someone who's currently trying to make it work on minimum wage, I cannot suggest starting a side hustle enough, and I'll have a couple videos down below in the description of side hustle ideas that you can try. Another thing that I want to say when it comes to starting a side hustle or a side business is that you do not need to be an expert. You don't need to know everything. All you have to do is start and teach yourself along the way. Because I started my business, Christina's Cake Shop, I was able to increase my income and not feel quite so restricted as I did when I was only working part-time minimum wage. But there you go. That is how I was able to save money while making minimum wage and working part-time. I'm sure there's so many other things that I used to do, so if you would like to hear more tips and more ways that I was able to save money while making minimum wage, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up or leave me a comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit the red subscribe button if you're new so that you can be a part of our channel. Down below in the description, I also have links to my Etsy shop, my Instagram, my Facebook page, all of that stuff, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!